Hi there. You may have a child with autism or a toddler showing signs, and you may have been told that you need to get some therapy going, or maybe your child is already in therapy, but you're looking for easy things to engage your child during the day. So today we are covering autism therapy in the home, 3 programs you can start today. So for those of you that don't know me, I'm Dr. Mary Barbera. I've been in the autism world for over 25 years now. First as a confused and overwhelmed mom when my son Lucas started showing signs of autism. Back after his first birthday, I was in denial. He was diagnosed the day before he was 3. So we lost some critical time. I became then a board certified behavior analyst, online course creator, and best-selling author. My newest book, Turn Autism Around, is already in a few languages. It's an action guide for parents of young children with early signs of autism. It actually helps any child who is still functioning in that 1 to 5-year-old level of language. And so really, these techniques that I'm going to show you today have really nothing to do with autism. If your child is not speaking or not speaking well, these are easy things that you can do to engage your child. So, all right. Program number 1 that I would start immediately is the shoebox program. So you can get an adult size shoebox. I prefer with the lid already attached. That would be the shoebox. And you can also get a different kind of box, like an oatmeal box or another shoebox. And instead of cutting this very thin for picture slit, you can cut a big old hole in the top of another box for 3D items. But first we'll use the pictures. You're going to need to gather pictures of family members, mommy, daddy. If your dog is named Spot, a picture of Spot. Pictures of reinforcing things, like if the child loves to drink out of water bottles, take a picture of that. Take a picture of fruit snacks or whatever your child really loves. Okay, then you will also get flashcards. I prefer just cheap flashcards to begin with. These are dollar store flashcards. If they have any letters or words on the picture, I would actually chop them off. That's why I like to get the cheap cards to start. And then I would use, you have your shoebox here. I would use the 1 word times 3 strategy. So have the shoebox on the table, sit catty corner from the child if possible. And then I would hold up 1 card at a time, and I would say the word up to 3 times. So the card is next to my mouth. Fish, move the card closer. Fish, move the card closer. Fish. Hand it to the child, whether the child says it or not, they get the item. If they say fish right away, they get the picture. Part of the fun of it for the child, or the reinforcement, is putting the fish picture or the mommy picture or the Spot picture in the shoebox with the slit into it. You'll also be able to use your other box, your oatmeal box, or another shoebox with a bigger hole into it, with 3D items, like a little plastic fork, for instance. Use that 1 word times 3. Fork, fork, fork. Hand it to the child puts it in the box. It disappears. Cause and effect. Star, star. You get the idea. You can use animals from a farm. Keep all of these materials too in a bag. Your 3D items, your pictures, you want to keep them organized, because every time you do this, you don't want to be hunting around looking for a sheep or something like that. Also, make sure, whether you're using 3D items or pictures, to go with 1 to 2 syllable words when the child is first learning to speak. So sheep is good, animal sounds, shapes, Barney or another figurine that your child really likes. They all go into the 3D box program. So that is the number one thing you can do. Everybody's got boxes laying around. When we started this program back, oh my goodness, years and years, over a decade ago, the child was just very distracted. And I was like, we need a box to put it in. We didn't even have a shoebox. We got a pasta box and we cut a slit into it. Really use what you like. You could decorate the box. You could use different, like I said, like an oatmeal box, but I think the shoebox and then the pictures of family members. And while you're getting pictures of family members, make sure that it's just one family member on one picture. Make sure the family member's not also on a bike wearing a helmet, just a picture where you can see people's faces. While you're at it, get 2 pictures of each person, same shirt, everything, because eventually you're going to be using a program for matching and using these materials potentially. So the number 1 program is the shoebox. Next up, the second program you can start today with any child with autism, toddler showing signs, is Potato Head. Again, we want to keep the materials very organized in a bag or a box, closed, because I know when my kids were little, before I was a behavior analyst, before I knew any of this, quite frankly, I would lose things a lot. Okay, so we want to have all the parts in a bag, nothing on Potato Head. And we want to use the 1 word times 3 strategy to build Potato Head. Eyes, eyes, eyes. The nice thing about body parts are they tend to be 1 syllable. They tend to be easy to say. And body parts are super important because touching body parts is such an important skill. We talked about that in many of the videos in the past, where touching body parts is so important because we need kids to tell us eventually what's hurting. We need them to have an understanding of language, even if they're not speaking. And the nice thing about touching body parts, it is the sign. So if I touch my nose, that's the sign for nose. And when you build in these 3D parts, nose, 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 as you bring the item closer, don't hold out. Even if you know your child said nose a day ago, a week ago, an hour ago, a minute ago, we can't force a child to speak. So we're just going to make it very fun, child-friendly. Nose, nose, nose. Help the child build the Potato Head if needed. And then once Potato Head is built, you can also have some fun. Oh, Potato Head's thirsty. Let's give Potato Head a drink. Go, 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 go. That sort of thing. We can pretend Potato Head's sleeping, jumping, have some fun, and then also have the child help you. Let's take the nose out. Nose, nose. Let's put the nose in the bag. Nose goes in. Make everything language enriched. And that's the beauty of using these programs for any child who is not yet speaking, or maybe they're speaking in phrases, but not conversational. We need to bring it back and make sure they can name body parts. They can eventually touch body parts. The other nice thing is with Potato Head, you can get different kind of hats and different kind of shoes. And so eventually, once the child is liking Potato Head, you can add some complexity. Maybe the child knows colors, which is not something I would start with, but a yellow hat versus Santa hat. This is a Santa Mickey hat, which is a little more confusing. Different sandals versus shoes, different color ears. Do you want the red ear or the orange ear or the pink ear? And the child can just point, helping them make choices. Oh, you want the pink ear. And then I would not say pink ear, pink ear. I would just say ear, ear, ear. Let's touch our ears. Really fun, child-friendly, easy. Potato Head is one of my very, very favorite programs that I start with every child who's not yet talking or not speaking in phrases. And the third and final program that we will talk about are inset puzzles. Now, you might find that your child or clients are actually really good at puzzles and they can do jigsaw puzzles. And you might think like, I'm not bringing this out for a 5-year-old. That doesn't even make sense. Or potato head. That's not age appropriate, Mary. Yes, it is. If the child is not yet talking, we can have them build more complex puzzles and Lego designs. But if they're not talking or not talking a lot, we can also use inset puzzles. Again, we always use the 1 word up to 3 times strategy. We always keep our materials organized. And a lot of times with these inset puzzles, you can also put, this is puzzle number 1 on the back. And then you can label this bag as puzzle pieces number 1, and you can have all of them in order. I find that to be really helpful, especially in classrooms or when a child has like full home programming going on. Okay, so inset puzzles, a nice thing about animals and vehicles is it tends to be 1 to 2 syllable words. Horse, horse, horse. Help the child put it in. If they need help, turning it, you could say turn it, give them as little prompts as possible, preferably sitting at a table, catty corner. I've done lots of videos on table time and how I would really recommend it, even for very young children. And go build a puzzle using the 1 word up to 3. Have the child give you, let's take out the cow, even a tap of a prompt. So make it fun. And I think one of the biggest things is that even typically developing children with no language delays really need lots of engagement throughout the day. And so kids with autism, it's like, oh, do they need 20 or 30 or 40 hours of therapy a week? Yeah, probably. If you're diagnosed with autism and you're 2 or 3 or 4, yeah, I would recommend that. But really what kids need, whether they have autism or not, or even just a speech delay, is they need lots of engagement. And kids have about 100 hours a week of awake time when they need engagement. That doesn't mean every 100 hours a week we're doing potato head and inset puzzles. That means for some of the time we're going to be doing those kind of programs, but then we're also going to be taking these child-friendly, very reinforcing activities, and you'll learn how to motivate, how to pair words. Now, going to the playground, up, open, before they can, get shoes. We're putting shoes on. We're engaging the child with these language-enriched activities where we're spending 95% of our time preventing problem behavior. I cover all of these techniques in my online courses and communities. I have a course and community for toddlers and preschoolers where half the parents who introduce themselves do not have an autism diagnosis yet. I also have a school age course. And if you think your child is too old for potato head or inset puzzles, but they're not yet speaking or speaking well, then we cover the basics and go from there. So I hope you enjoyed those lessons and programs that you can start today. Shoebox, potato head, and inset puzzles. I hope you loved them. Check below for all the details. And if you are interested in possibly joining our online course and community, why don't you check out all the details at marybarbera.com/buy now. And I hope to see you on the other side. Have a good one.